Once you decide that you want to be in an abundance, once you decide that you want to receive abundance, that is what is going to happen to you. If you are experiencing lack after loss, after trials and tribulations, there is something or somebody in your energy that is not supposed to be there. You cannot receive abundance if you're constantly surrounded by people, places, and things that you no longer resonate with or that you have to be removed from. And I know you may not want to hear this, so I know you like to tussle, but hear me out. What has helped me along my healing journey was evaluating my circle and myself in my thoughts. Just because you are exposed to certain people, places, and things doesn't mean they're compatible for you or doesn't mean they have the best interests. You have to use your discernment, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Everything that comes into your life may not meant to be in your life forever, or there's a season and a reason. Now, of course, everything has a reason, but it's up to you to determine how that reason, how that situation is going to affect you. And this is not to discredit people or to make people feel bad because maybe they don't have the knowledge or the resource or the accesses you do. But once you decide that you want something, you are allowed to have it. The problem is people who are outside of you, people who are not supposed to have access to you, are going to feel entitled. Why? I don't know. That's not my business. That's not my focus. And I don't want you guys to focus on that. You also have to be mindful of what is being projected onto you. You have to be mindful of what you're focusing on. The old saying, what you focus on grows, is true. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are in a low vibration and you're trying to heal, you're not going to be able to receive abundance. You cannot receive your blessings, that new car, that new house, that new relationship, that new job, that new body, whatever it is, that new mindset, until you let go of the things that are no longer serving you. So you have to be willing to cut off and remove anything or anybody who's in the way. When it comes to your life, it's not personal, because if these people were in your situation, they would choose them. And you know this. If you've been betrayed before, if you've been hurt, or people have done things to you that you would have never done to them, they chose themselves. You're not selfish for being selfless. You are not selfish for being selfless. It is selfish of you to not be selfless. You have to put yourself first when you come across this video. You cannot be making excuses no more. So when you know in your heart and your spirit and your mind that your morals are not aligned with what you see, that your emotions are not being validated by what you know or what you feel, cut it off. It could be the people that are closest to you. The reason why a lot of people like to say, oh, it's always the people that are closest to you, is because nobody else outside of you knows you. And even the people who are closest to you, they don't know you. They feel entitled to you because they think you grew up in the same area, that you're supposed to live the same life. No. And the only people who have a problem with you removing yourself or denying access or separating yourself are the people who you're meant to outgrow and who are meant to stay there. It doesn't make you better or less than, doesn't make you higher or lower, but everybody's allowed to do what they want. We all have the same 24 hours. We all have the same access to life. Is everybody aware of that? No. So if you're choosing to unlearn information, you have to be okay with physically. You may have to move to a different state, to a different city, to a different town, to a different county, to a different country, a different continent. You have to be willing to leave what you used to be familiar with. So your environment, your family, you're growing in life. Life is about evolving, adapting, and changing. You have to be willing to let go and cut people off. Just because you create a distance doesn't mean that you didn't love them. Just because you're creating distance doesn't mean that you don't care about them. Just because you're creating distance doesn't mean that you despise them and that you never want to talk to them ever again. That's your choice, but you have to be okay with creating that boundary. Stop allowing people to cross your boundaries. People cannot cross your boundaries if you do not allow them to. And I get it. You're a loving person. You're caring. You want the best for people. You want to be happy. You just want everybody to get along. Everybody in this world does not think like that. And it sounds common, but common sense is also not common. That's a different topic for a different video. Just because me and you resonate with each other doesn't mean everybody else in the world is going to agree. Like, there are going to be a lot of people who are triggered by my energy. Guess what? They're not meant to be around me. If they want to be around me and they want to do the shadow work and they want to do the healing, I'm here for it. They can like the videos, they can watch. If not, anything extra, anything rude, anything disrespectful, anybody who's not meant to be around me, cut. I will push you and return back to sender. You will not be around me. And that's the same thing with you. If people want to say you're this and that, okay, you're outside of the club. You can't even get in. You need a wristband. Start treating yourself like a priority. People who respect themselves, adults, grown women, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, gay, hey, them, she, we, or be, will respect you and respect themselves. You don't need to care about what people think about you if what they're thinking about you is not helping you become a better person. It's not helping you uplift yourself. It's not helping you become the things that you want to experience in life. And when you know you're doing the right thing, good things are going to happen to you. Listen to me and listen to me clear, Linda. Speaking from experience, when you are surrounding yourself with people that you know are not for you, that's when the trials and tribulations come. Because here's what's going to happen. Either you're responsible for your actions, you made certain choices, whether you didn't know any better or you did, or people are going to project onto you. There's no in between. At some point of our lives, in order for us to see change, in order for us to see growth, we have to raise our hand and say, you know what, my name is Ty, this is what I did because X, Y, and Z, and accept it and be okay with it. When people cannot do that, they're going to project onto you. They're going to make you feel embarrassed. They're going to make you feel miserable. They're going to make you feel ashamed. Let me tell you something. You can only be embarrassed if you feel embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed about anything that I've had to do or done publicly because I know how I felt and I know what has happened to me. You know your truth, and that's all that matters. People who are not you, like I said, who are pouring into you, it doesn't matter what they think. People creating narratives about you in their mind is a different type of psychotic. And I'm your favorite mental health specialist. I'm saying that. Not to belittle people, but to inform people. So trigger warning. If you're that type of person, we're here for you. Because like I said, this is a judge-free place. But it's like we have to be honest with ourselves. You should not be experiencing loss after loss after loss if you're doing what you know you're supposed to do. Now, granted, because someone's going to be like, well, things are going to happen to us. Just because things happen to you doesn't mean you're not going to know how to handle it. And certain things are only happening to you because of what you are projecting or what you are receiving. And I get it. There are going to be people who try to force themselves into your life because people love to say, oh, you are what you attract. There are some people in your life who are going to come into your life and that are not meant to be in your life. And you're supposed to tell that person, you're not allowed to be around me. And once you realize that certain people are trying to come into your life or try to force themselves into your life, you're going to start to realize that person's not for me. There are going to be a lot of distractions. And the goal is for you to learn the lesson. Or you're going to keep experiencing the same cycles through the same spirit or energies. It's going to be different people, a different vessel, different experiences until you realize, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I get it. Don't worry about how other people perceive you because it's like you didn't know any better. And people love to talk about what they would do, or if I was them. If you was them, you wouldn't even be talking. So it's just like people love to talk badly about people in situations that they've never experienced or don't know what to do. So it's like you really just have to evaluate and take this time to sit back and reflect so you can realize what's for you and what's not, because it's like we know what's right and wrong to us. And you also have to realize what is right and wrong to you. Everyone does not have to agree. Like my videos is only for a specific kind of people because I'm a specific kind of person. I don't want everyone to relate to my videos if they're not being honest. So my videos are not going to be for the dishonest. My videos are not going to be for immature people. My videos are not going to be for people who don't relate. And that's fine, because guess what? I don't go on my way forcing or focusing on that energy that has nothing to do with me, and vice versa. Like, if you know that you can't meet people halfway, stop expecting things to be handed to you or expect that things are just going to work out for you. If you know you're doing what you're supposed to and other people are trying to come into your life, you will realize that's a distraction. That has nothing to do with my energy. And that's where you don't have to go back and forth. Like, I'm not going tit for tat. I'm not arguing. I'm not fussing. I'm not cussing. Like, from experience, once I realized a lot of those low vibrational energies was trying to disturb my peace, I said, oh no. And it's not, like I said, to judge anyone or make it seem like anybody's perfect. But it's like once you curse people out, once you beat people up, once you see certain things, you're like, I don't want to continue doing this. And if they want to continue doing that, we were not meant to cross paths in the first place. So just use your discernment. Start to evaluate who's around you. And I'm telling you for a fact. I'm telling you guys for a fact and what I know. If it resonates, like I said, the genuine people who watch my videos, the genuine supporters, you guys know the vibes. We're not playing. We're not playing. We are a reflection of what we want. So you can make excuses all you want to. That's another thing. My channel is not for the people who are constantly going to be making excuses. Nobody has time for that. If you want to make excuses, these videos are not going to help you. So it's like, be very intentional with what you do. Start to take more time and be very intentional about what you say, what you watch. Even this video, be very intentional, because you're only going to disappoint yourself. You are only going to disappoint yourself if you're not being mindful, if you don't learn the lessons. You don't got to beat yourself up. You don't got to stay there forever, but you got to learn what you apply. If not, with every action, there's a consequence to what you do. And I'm going to say it again, I'm going to end off this video, but with every action, there's a consequence with what you do. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know. But most importantly, what are you going to start doing differently now when you start to evaluate your surroundings? And what tips and tricks can you recommend to myself or anybody watching this? Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ty_guidance, TYI_guidance, GUIDANCE. Make sure you follow us on TikTok at TYI.guidance, okay? Where I have videos for you guys that are shorter, because, you know, TikTok is like, what, 60 seconds, 3 minutes, etc. And if you want a personal session, make sure you guys click the link down below. Go to my website. The appointments are available for the rest of the time being, and the website is in the information. All the information will be down in the description box below. I love you, but you got to pay attention. And once you realize, and once you take a step back, you realize, okay, this is for me and this is not. And the people who are going to get it are going to get it. The people you outgrow are going to accept you and respect you. If they don't accept you, they don't respect you, they're not for you. We're not jumping through hurdles. We're not playing leapfrog. We're not playing duck, duck, goose. We're not doing any of that, okay? Love you, bye.